In a world obsessed with kingdoms built of stone and power, he spoke of a kingdom unseen. The kingdom of God is within you. The words lingered like fire and silence at once, a mystery that could change everything. The crowds leaned closer. They had expected revolution, not reflection. A kingdom that would overthrow Rome, not awaken the soul. But Jesus' eyes saw deeper, past empires and palaces, into the secret chambers of the human heart. And in that gaze, heaven drew near. He didn't point to the skies or temples. He pointed to them, to us, to something sacred that no army could invade, no law could contain, and no darkness could destroy. But what does it mean that the kingdom of God is within us? The kingdom he spoke of was not geography, it was presence. Not crowns or thrones, but communion. When he said those words, Jesus shattered the illusion that God dwells only in distant realms or holy buildings. He was telling us, that the reign of God begins in the soul that surrenders. The Pharisees had asked him when the kingdom would come. They wanted a sign, but he replied, "The kingdom of God does not come with observation. You cannot point and say, 'Here it is,' or 'There it is,' because the kingdom is not arriving to you, it's awakening within you." Imagine standing in that crowd, hearing those words for the first time. A fisherman, a widow, a soldier, a sinner. You came hoping for liberation from the empire outside, but instead, he speaks of a liberation inside. And maybe that's the harder one, for how can heaven dwell in broken vessels? How can eternity live in a mortal heart? And yet, that is the miracle. The same Spirit that moved over the waters in Genesis now stirs in those who believe. The same light that broke through creation's darkness still seeks to rise within us. The kingdom is not a realm to conquer. It is a reality to awaken to. But few understood what came next. He began to show them not through armies or decrees, but through love. Through forgiveness that healed the leper. Through mercy that lifted the fallen. Through peace that silenced storms. Every time he restored a soul, heaven expanded its borders within human hearts. Every act of compassion was territory reclaimed from the enemy of fear. The kingdom, then, was growing not outwardly but inwardly. Every miracle was a seed. Every word of truth, a doorway to eternity. And maybe that is our own hidden battle to let that kingdom reign in us. Time passed. The crowds wanted proof. They wanted glory. They wanted a king with a crown of gold, not a cross of wood. But the king of this kingdom ruled differently. His throne was humility. His power was service. His victory, surrender. And through his suffering, he revealed the true geography of heaven. Not above us, but within love itself. Think of the words he later spoke. "Abide in me, and I in you." That is the architecture of the kingdom. A living union, not a distant dominion. He didn't come to build walls, but to open hearts. Not to create citizens of religion, but children of light. And when the Spirit descended after his resurrection, the kingdom came in full breath. Tongues of fire, hearts aflame, and a movement that would carry heaven's heartbeat to every nation. Because wherever his Spirit dwells, the kingdom is alive. Sometimes we still look outward for signs, for proof, for miracles. But the greatest miracle might be this, that the infinite God chose the human heart as his dwelling place. You are not waiting for the kingdom to arrive. You are the soil where it takes root. The question is not where the kingdom is, but who will let it reign. And maybe that is what Jesus meant. When he said, "The kingdom of God is within you," he wasn't giving information, he was giving invitation. To look inward and find that divine spark. To see the image of God, not in distant heavens, but in your reflection. To recognize that every act of kindness, every word of grace, every breath surrendered to love is heaven breaking through. The kingdom is not waiting for permission, only for awakening. But few truly awaken, because to find the kingdom within, you must first let go of the one you've built for yourself, the throne of pride, the fortress of fear, the empire of ego. He calls us not to ascend but to surrender, not to conquer but to yield. For when we die to ourselves, we rise into him, and that is where eternity begins. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of vengeance, you reveal the king. Every time you lift another in compassion, you expand the kingdom's borders. Every time you listen to the quiet whisper of conscience over the roar of pride, you echo heaven's authority. The kingdom of God is not somewhere you go after death. It's something you live in now, and something that lives in you. Perhaps heaven has been closer than we ever dreamed, not hidden in the stars, but waiting in the silence of the soul that dares to believe.